Okay, let's do this. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Ashland Leather Workshop. Hopefully you can see and hear me right now. And we're in a workshop, so you can hear us making wallets in the background here. We got a full house. We've been working really hard to get products back for Father's Day. We've noticed that we don't have enough stuff ready for our second busiest day of the year, and we want to do right by our dads. So we're hustling hard to get some Father's Day stuff back. And then later this week, we're going to be doing like a special little promo for Father's Day that I'll tell you, probably announce that on Friday. What's up, Chris Diaz? Let's see who's here in the chat. If you're hanging out, please introduce yourself. Say hi. Tell me how your weekend was. I went to the beach with my daughter and my wife, and my daughter freaking loved it. Had an absolute blast. All right, so we got Chris Diaz is here, Doug Castellon, Friendly Faces, Beefhead's here, my fellow Ash Hat. Time for this cowboy English breakfast. Okay, I'm drinking coffee, which is very tasty. Sherman Tan's here, Brandon Ramirez. Oh my God, so good to see you guys. Jaren's here. We got another multicam set up today. You can see it in front of me, and I'll show you what that looks like. Oh, you want to see what you look like? Here's what you look like. I don't know if that even focuses. There you guys are. I can do a little heart. Sure, whatever. Glad to see you guys here. So we'll look at a bunch of stuff that has been ordered over the weekend and have fun dissolves, by the way. First time here from Florida. Oh my God. Hey, Tom. Good to see you. I'm so glad that you said hi. Hendong's here. Morning Ash Hats. Jesse Rodriguez. Good morning. All right, cool. Hendongs is still in love with your English and Johnny the Fox. Let's start with that. So everything we're about to look at here has been ordered over the weekend, and it's been a long weekend, so there's quite a bit of stuff. It's almost like one of everything that we make, more or less. And I probably missed some stuff here. There's other things that have not been pulled, but the goal for today will be to take all of this stuff and prepare it. So our mission, usually it's our Monday mission, is to put all this stuff through the finishing process, make sure that it's polished up, ready to go. Since you are happy with your Fox, I guess we'll start with this Johnny the Fox here. English Dan Dublin is one of our most popular items in fact, it's our most popular leather for every style. And it just so happens that Johnny the Fox is our most popular style. So I'm so glad that you're loving your Johnny the Fox. You can see on this particular one, there's an extreme amount of character. They're all a bit different, and not every one of these is even similar. And that's because the Dublin leather, along with most other leathers that we choose for our leather goods, are very naturally finished in what is known as an aniline finish. Aniline means that there's no solids in the color. There's no pigment in the color. And the reason I'm saying pigment as opposed to dye is that pigments cover up everything. So imagine like a piece of wood, if you were to paint it as opposed to if you were to stain that piece of wood, it's much less transparent when you paint over it. So because we're using an aniline finish, aka dyes instead of pigments, you get to see all the natural character. And as a consequence of that, you get a beautiful ability to develop patina. In addition, each piece is very unique because we're not covering up any of the natural character. So no two pieces of aniline leather are identical. You're always going to see a little bit of difference. And let me try to showcase what I mean by that. So we have a Fat Herbie here, also in English Dan Dublin. And you'll notice that this one is very different as well. And the difference is not only in the character of that grain, but also in the color. So there can be a little bit of a range of color in aniline leathers as well. This is a good one to showcase. This is similar to the Fat Herbie here, but this is our traveler passport holder, also in that English Dan Dublin. And you'll notice that these are totally different. Every piece of Dublin is just a little bit different. And again, I think the most significant thing about the aniline leathers that we choose is the way that it develops over time. That's something I don't talk about enough on these videos. I'm normally talking about like how nice the appearance is or like the burst effect of the wax that's finished onto the grain. But again, because there's no solids in the color here, it gives you that ability to transform and change and develop with your own style. So this Traveler passport holder I wanted to show next to the Herbie, it's a little bit taller than our Fat Herbie, and we designed it that way to more easily fit and accommodate a passport on the inside. By the way, before I get too far ahead, let's do this fun transition. Before I get too far ahead of myself, this week I've got a podcast lined up for Full Grain Podcast with the founder of Nomad Goods. And I'm really excited to talk to Brian, one of the two founders from that company. A lot of you may be familiar with Nomad. They make really interesting tech accessories, and they use a lot of Horween leather. If you haven't checked out Full Grain Podcast, I suggest checking that out. There's a YouTube channel where I record the video of that as well. Check out Full Grain Podcast. It's a blast. But this week I'm chatting with the Nomad guys, and I would love to see if you guys have any questions of things that you would like to know about that brand, how they make stuff, what's the future of that brand, how do they get started, any questions that you might have. That'd be really helpful because I'm trying to have a chat with him. I believe that podcast is scheduled for tomorrow. So if you're a fan of Nomad, you want to know more, I would love to know what you want to know, and I'll ask Brian. Star wipe. I think I only have this wipe, dude. It's kind of hideous, but it's really fun. I feel like Star Wars. Or is that what you meant? Star Wars wipe? That's probably what you meant. I'm doing it because I think it's ridiculous and I like it. All right, let's get back to the stuff here. Again, we have so much stuff to look at. Let's go up next with some of the belts. And I think we have just about every single color being ordered in the belts today. This one is going to be made into a size 36. And this is the Navy Chrome Excel, very underrated Chrome Excel color. It's a really nice aqua blue underneath with a darker, more navy blue on the surface. Here's the more popular Chrome Excel color, natural Chrome Excel. Sort of like a light taupe. It's got a little bit of life to it, but obviously it's natural. So the color that you're seeing here is very much just the natural tannins and oils and waxes that are hot stuffed into the Chrome Excel. Here's my favorite, personally, English Tan Dublin. Again, we were looking at some wallets. You can also make a naturally thick leather like this out of extra heavy bovine hides, and they're not easy to come by. So single layer belts like this that are around 9-10 ounces thick are less common because the animal hides need to be naturally thicker, and that's what these are. They're more expensive. I find a online belt just to be, it's a little bit more of a casual style, but I also find it just to be more comfortable. And then in something like an English Tan Dublin, you have that wax layer finished onto the grain that also, by the way, just super beautiful on the heavyweights, all this little bits of character. It just wears in great, again, because it's online. I tend to think it's a little bit more comfortable and it really conforms to your body. Great belts. And including the Chrome Excel is also very comfortable. It's a little bit, I'd say the Dublin has like a little bit more of a firm temper. It's not firm. It is nice and round, but the Chrome Excel has more oils tanned inside. So it is a little bit more flexible on the Chrome Excel. Both of them will wear to be identically comfortable, but the Chrome Excel will get you there a little bit faster. I've actually noticed on Chrome Excel footwear that Chrome Excel really wants to conform to your foot. I find it to be the most comfortable leather choice for my footwear, and I've worn a bunch of different stuff. Speaking of which, I have a pair of indie boots in this leather right here. This is brown Chrome Excel, also unlined, super, super thick stuff. We got all those belts back in stock. I think the black we're actually running short on. This is the last color we'll look at, black Chrome Excel here. We only have, I'm looking behind me. There's only like 5 or 6 black Chrome Excel belts. So if you were on the fence about one of these, we're almost out, and we are going to restock them. But if you were looking for one for like Father's Day, for example, this might not last very long. The notable thing about black Chrome Excel is that this does have a bit of pigment in it. And the black Chrome Excel is the only Chrome Excel color that has a little bit of solids in the finish. And that's because if they were to use, and we've done it in the past, just the aniline stains on that waxy, greasy, oily Chrome Excel base underneath, the color does not look black at all. It's almost like still brown. So to achieve that black look, they actually apply a little drop of pigment alongside the stain that introduces some solids to cover it up. So black Chrome Excel is the only exception of the aniline leathers here. I wanted to show you one more thing that's become pretty hip recently, is people talk a lot about this term called T-core. And the black Chrome Excel here is a perfect example of what T-core is. So if you look at the edges of this belt, not only are they very nicely waxed and burnished and slicked down, so they're very shiny and smooth and nice, but you'll notice the color is natural. It's the same color as the backside of the leather. What they've done is they've applied a different color on the top, black, on top of the natural. And anytime you're combining two different colors, one color on the grain and one color on the cross section of leather, that is something that has been known in the world as T-core. Now, the most common is the black here. You see a lot of black on natural, but you can also do like a blue on a yellow. That's also T-core. That's something that Skip Horwin and I have been talking about. It's like maybe we can do some different color T-core stuff because it seems like there's an interest in that. And by the way, most of the stuff that we make is made because of you guys just telling us what you like. So I would highly encourage you to, even in the chat right now, just tell me what you want to see that maybe doesn't exist. We've done some shrunken bison stuff that might be coming out in the future. We're here for you. All right, let's go up to some more new stuff shipping out. This is the new Cypress leather. I've been wearing, and I'll pull my wallet out here, the royal blue Cypress on my Fat Herbie. I'm very impressed with how nicely this leather wears in. You can see just how bright it is. Super, super shiny. And just as I've worn it, it's become naturally more compacted. The grain is sort of pushed in. And that's because the tannage here of the Latigo from Horween is a veg retannage. So you get a little bit of that veg character alongside the performance of chrome tanning and then a wax finish on the surface. That's what the Cypress is. I love it in the blue. This is one of the few, and I wear a lot of wallets, as you might imagine. One of the wallets here that I get the most compliments on is the, as I knock everything over, the royal blue Cypress on my Fat Herbie. I love it, and it seems like people really dig it. We also have that same leather here in the brown color, which I think is a little bit more accessible for most people. I think most people looking for leather goods are looking for blacks and browns. So here's a black shell cordovan one-shot card case, our most minimalist style. Here's another brown Cypress piece on our second, I believe this is our second most popular item right now, the Capone money clip. Another minimalist style with these external card slots makes it very, very easy to use. Here's another Capone in the classic color 8 shell cordovan. Talking about bright and shiny. This is as bright as it gets, more or less. I'd say what people look for in the cordovan is this bright mirror-like shine. And what I like about our black and color 8 shell pieces that we've been doing recently is we have a hand-stained edge. So the edges are exactly the same color. We apply the same stains here as the tannery does to the shell side. So they match perfectly on both the black and color 8. Here's another one shot in color 8 shell cordovan. I don't think we do the hand stained edges on the one shots. Oh, Jeff D is here. You made it, Jeff D. By the way, if you're in the chat, definitely say hi. And if you have any questions after we go through some of this stuff, I would love to hear your questions. So please drop any questions you have in the chat. I'll go back through, take a look, and we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. All right, if you want patina, this is the one to go for. Natural shell cordovan. Starts a lighter color, and against a veg tan, tends to develop a little bit more dramatically. So this color will change to be darker and more golden brown just with normal use. That's sort of our hit wallet right now. People love the natural shell Herbies. All right, here's a vertical card slot. Speaking of hits, I think people are starting to prefer this style here, the vertical Bugs Moran, to this style here. This is our traditional card slot Bugs Moran. It seems like more people are leaning towards the vertical card slots right now, which is cool. It's a little bit more cumbersome and challenging for us to make. We have to pick thinner pieces for all the layers on the inside of this design, but it sure packs a punch. I love the form factor of both the traditional Bugs Moran as well as the vertical card slot Bugs Moran. And then on the inside, the difference is you have additional card slots on the vertical. There's 2 more card slots. So if you're using maybe 1 or 2 cards in each slot, the vertical might be the way to go. If you are like me and you put like 3, maybe 4 in each slot, I think the traditional card slot Bugs Moran is the way to go. But it does seem like more people are going the vertical route. Yeah, like at least recently it seems to be. Here's a Tony the Ant in that brown Cypress again. And the big brother to Tony the Ant is the Fat Herbie. So you can see that the styles here are similar, where we have the exterior bill slot on both the Fat Herbie and the Tony, but the form factor is dramatically different, and I'll try to demonstrate that for you. You can see the Herbie is about the size of a passport. People were asking for a smaller version of the Herbie, and that's how Tony the Ant came about. There's also these card layouts on the inside. This is what I love about the Herbie, is it lays flatter because you are not stacking card slots on top of each other. Everything is spread out over more surface area. So if you wear your wallet in the back pocket, I think Herbie's the way to go. And I push a lot of people that direction, and I get a lot of positive feedback for doing that. It seems like a choice people wouldn't make on their own, but when I sort of push them in that direction, they seem to really enjoy the Herbie. All right, here's a Capone Money Clap, also in the Royal Blue Cypress, and I'll show you my Herbie again, just to give you a look of how this changes. Again, very minimalist style, and it's blue all throughout, so blue edges, blue grain, and then blue flesh side in the center here of the Capone. We have the Johnny the Fox. These are turning out great also, and by the way, we still need to finish everything in here, so it's only going to get better. I love the look of this fox in both the brown cypress, which, do we have one? Yeah. It's just a really clean look. The cypress being the same leather and color on the outside and inside. I think there's something to be said for that. And we do a lot of custom wallets where people want to do fun combos. Those are fun too, but there's something magical about just keeping it simple and keeping it clean. I love the Royal Blue Cypress as well as the brown cypress foxes. They're turning out great. And we also have the Herbie. Just want to show you again the difference. So here's a Royal Blue Cypress Fat Herbie with that card layout I was talking about. The other thing about the Herbie, the bill slot on the outside, is very easy to access, and I guess I'll show you how rich I am. It's super easy to just, I can even open it with one hand, right? I can open up that bill slot and then grab it very easily, and I'm loaded right now, and then you can just slide it back in very easily. A lot of other wallets, you kind of have to fuss with a small amount. But the Herbie is unique in that I find it to be easy to use, super thin. It's a little bigger, so people are a little off put by the size. But if you wear it in the back pocket, I think the Herbie is the way to go. And I like the cypress a lot too. All right, here's another cypress piece. A lot of cypress going out. We did just restock all these, and we're like almost already out of some of them. So here's a vertical card slot Bugs Moran in the brown cypress. Here's another classic color number 8 shell cordovan. This is the Tony the Ant with the bill slot on the outside, hand stained edges on that guy. Since we're talking about it, here's the Big Brother again, Fat Herbie in color 8 shell. Beautiful stained, waxed, and burnished edges. That same color again. I think it really, really cleans it up, matching everything. Here's an irregular. I think we still have a couple of these. This is an irregular Johnny the Fox in English Tan Dublin. I'm going to try to pick up the pace here because we got tons of stuff. Here's another English Tan piece, Bugs Moran. And let's just skip over to some small accessories. Something I don't showcase enough is our watch straps, and they're really nice. So we do Apple Watch bands. I'm wearing a natural, if I can focus it, natural Chrome Excel Apple Watch band. This was actually an irregular. And I'm glad I picked up the irregular. Look at the stitch. There's like this one little extra hole that made this one irregular. And I've been going hard on this strap. You can even see some suntan lotion on the strap here from yesterday. But I work out in this thing. I wear it all the time. The natural Chrome Excel is super comfortable. Here's a 2-piece watch strap in a length and width that is uncommon. It's something that we can do by request, and sometimes we stock them if we're able to. This is black shell cordovan, unlined strap. This is a short length, 22 millimeter lug width strap. So the lugs are 22 at the top. We have a 2 millimeter taper to 20 millimeters at the buckle. We have not applied the buckle or attached it just yet. But then the length, so this one is actually 105 millimeters long from lug to tip, and this one is 75 millimeters long. So this is made for somebody with a little bit more of a narrow wrist, and it's probably like 20% of people actually need a short length strap. So we are able to do that. We also have regular length straps as well. Here's an Apple Watch band, the same one I'm wearing right now, but in natural shell cordovan instead of the natural Chrome Excel. We can do 2 different hardware options on the Apple Watch bands. There's the black, which is this here. But we also do a silver color, which matches the new titanium Apple Watch Ultra very nicely. Here's a black Chrome Excel key chain belt clip. I almost call it the Key Buddy. In-house here, we call this the Key Buddy. I use one of these every day. I love it. It has a little swivel snap or a swivel clip on the bottom that I attach to my belt, and I put my keys on the other side. You can reverse this, unsnap the top, and you can attach this around your belt and then hang this ring off of the clip if you so desire. It can be used in multiple ways, but I find it just to be quick and easy to like clip this end to my belt. I like it for that reason. Use it every day. Love it. All right, here's another keychain belt clip in the English tan Dublin. Antique brass everything. And then we've got some valet trays. Here's a valet tray in color number 8, shell cordovan. All of our shell valet trays are irregulars. So you will find some cosmetic issues on them. Like this one has like a little scar in the bottom. And that's because it's such a huge piece of leather. Take a look at this. This is a huge piece of shell. So if I were to cut like not stuff without little inconsistencies in it, the valet trays would be mega expensive. So to keep the cost down, keep it reasonable, we cut those into the valet trays here. They're still not cheap, but you will find some cosmetic inconsistencies in the shell valet tray. So this one's the black shell cordovan, and we had the color 8 first. And we have a couple more valet trays and a model number 1 carbon fiber comb from Chicago Comb. These are great. Speaking of Father's Day, these are good gifts for Father's Day. A little comb and comb sheath. We have the English tan Dublin sheaths. Here's also color 8, but this is color number 8 Chrome Excel on our valet tray. You can see the square one here fits inside of the larger rectangular one. So we have 2 different size valet trays. The larger one here is called the XL valet tray. Also color 8 on both sides. So we stain the grain side to be that burgundy, dark brown, color 8 color. It has a really nice pull-up effect, by the way. Beautiful. And then the tannery on the inside, they also apply additional stain on the flesh side, and then they coat it with a little bit of resin and then iron it smooth. So color 8 both sides. Technically, that's a T-core too. Oh my God. We got more stuff to look at. I'm spilling wallets like all over. All right, Venetian shoe cream going out today. And I think we have a couple of these left. We also sell Tanner's Blend, which we need to run a restock of. And we sell Saphir Cordovan cream, which, by the way, every shell piece, with the exception of like reverse shell cordovan like this guy here, every shell piece gets treatment of Saphir Cordovan cream from us before we send it. Here's another English tan Dublin piece, Capone money clip. We've got a couple more Frank the Enforcers. Here's the classic color number 8 shell cordovan with the hand stained edges and black shell cordovan, also matching stained wax and burnished edges. I think those black shell Franks and black shell Bugs are sold out right now, or almost out. Things are running low, guys. All right, here's another hit. I think this is one of our most popular wallets right now. And it's a shame that it's so popular because I wish it was easier to make. This is a 100% color number 8 shell cordovan Giant the Fox. So we've got shell on the outside, shell cordovan, in the classic color 8 color, as well as shell on the inside. And I was folding it this way to show you what the inside looks like. All of these layers of leather quickly add up in thickness. So we need to choose naturally thin pieces of shell to make the Giant the Fox. And they're not easy to get. The thin pieces are a challenge for us to source. So we have to sort through all the leather, and maybe 2% of it, we get one pattern piece for the inside of this wallet. It's tough to get, but when they come out great. All right, here's another, the last one of the day, I suppose. Is that it? Wow, we did it. We got a brown cypress, Tony the Ant, going out today, matching inside and out. I like the reverse side of the brown cypress. It's a little bit more of this caramel color. I don't know if it's caramel or caramel, but I like that it gives that additional like depth to it. So the crust color underneath being a little bit more of that tan, a little bit of orangey tan to it, and then staining brown over the top gives it a little bit more life, especially when you flex it. So you can see a little bit more depth. I think it's beautiful. Okay, let's do this fun little, look at this, boom. So everything we just looked at, people have picked up over the long weekend here. By the way, hope you guys had a nice weekend. Maybe you got to see your family a bit and hang out. I did, for sure. It was amazing. By the way, the beach in Chicago, you got to go. Okay, if you're in the chat, say hi. I would love to see new faces. I love seeing them. We've had a couple of people today. Really cool to see some new people hanging out on the live streams here. And questions about leather, questions about anything, I'm happy to chat. And again, first-time chatters, love to see you guys. And then I was talking about the theme of the video, I guess the title. I was kind of honestly, I was kind of struggling to come up with a title for the video this morning. But what we're trying to do right now in the building I'm standing in is to restock leather goods for Father's Day. And that's been our mission for like the last 3 weeks. You may have noticed a little bit less of like crazy private stock stuff or special events over the last few weeks. We are basically sold out of most everything, but we are restocking now. And we felt like, given that Father's Day is significant to our business and has historically been like an important thing for us, not only monetarily, we want to have like gifts for dad, but also it would be really terrible like if you came in, we couldn't give you anything. So we've really focused on just stocking more stuff, and we're trying to stock the less expensive stuff too. So you see a lot of cypress that we're putting back in stock. But that's all to be saying. The thing that I wanted to say is we've been focused on the restocking. We wanted to make an event. It's tough to do events when you have no product, but we wanted to sweeten it up a little bit. So stick around to the channel and the newsletter. If you're not on the newsletter, there'll be like a special event probably this Friday for Father's Day. We'll try to start that a little bit early so you can get your stuff in time for Father's Day. All right. Who's here again? Oh, we got Sherman, Jaron, Chase, Hendongs. Oh, familiar faces. GH has been on vacation in DC. That's cool. How was it? Tom Britt, first time from Florida. It's hot. My father-in-law just came back up from Florida. They do the snowbird thing. I think that's what it's called. It's probably getting hot over there. It's getting hot here. It's like 83 degrees today. Curtis Bishop. Good morning, Curtis. And yeah, Jesse, we had this fun, this wipe thing. It's so stupid. But it's kind of fun. Jeff G is here. It's been 3 weeks since you ordered a made-to-order Apple Watch strap in raw denim. Hoping to have it in the next week or two. Yeah, we're looking at right now all the made-to-order stuff. Again, like 4 to 6 weeks, but probably closer to the 4-week mark. If we have the leather, we can make you anything in about 4 to 6 weeks. That's where we've been running, that's our goal in-house, and that's what we've been quoting people, and we seem to hit it. There are times where, I drop the ball on something or something happens that we don't hit it, but generally speaking, we're pretty good at actually delivering what we say we're going to deliver. All right. But yeah, so I get asked a lot about custom. So if you want a custom wallet, watch strap, belt, whatever, you can send my brother Matt an email. It's info@ashlandleather.com. Just tell him what your dream whatever is, and he can find the leather in-house here and tell you a quote if we have that material or whatever color you're looking for. So many beautiful wallets. That's right, Chris. It's fun for me to, even that extra day not being in the shop, it's fun for me to come back because I'm excited again. Like I see this stuff every day, but it's still so awesome. And like I think it was the first wallet we looked at today, that Fox here with these like little bits of natural figuring and striations in here. Like it's things like that like really excite me. Just beautiful. The leather, man. Any natural Chrome Excel Tonys? Josh, that's something we'd have to make to order. I don't think we're trying to move away from wallets in Chrome Excel. Not because they're bad, but because I think it's hard for us to describe to customers what to expect on that material. The Chrome Excel will dent, scuff, and scratch pretty easily. The good news about the Chrome Excel is that they fill themselves in very naturally. Like I've been wearing my watch band, I wore the hell out of it, scratched it. But as I wear it, those scratches tend to fill themselves in. It just looks aged now in an awesome way. I think we've become a little bit more popular in like a broader sense of the market these days. And it's not to say that like with the ego behind it, but it's as we become more familiar to wider audiences, those bits of nuance in the leather get lost. And it becomes a business challenge for us. We have the leather and we can source the leather. So if you want something, we can probably do it for you, but we just don't stock them right now. There's a long answer for you. And do I have any hardware for 41? I think we only have black hardware for 41 millimeter Apple Watch bands. But that's a good question for Matt too, Josh. Just send an email to info. Ask him what he has for 41 Apple Watch bands. All right, BK, it's me. BK says, what boots am I wearing right now? You're going to be so mad, BK. I have a wall of boots next to me and shoes. They're very nice. Yet I'm wearing some like running shoes right now from Adidas. Sorry, I just couldn't lie to you, BK. Steven Chia, oh my God, hey Steven. And Noel's here from Virginia. Man, Noel, good to see you too. I think we have some wallets going your way. Noel, I think you're picking up a wallet like every week, which is, I appreciate it, Noel. Hopefully you're sharing it with people. Unless you have like 40 pockets, you're going to run out of room for all those wallets. But I'm glad to have your support. I really appreciate it. DH is more, it says, warning, new to the live stream. Yes. Love to see it, DH. Welcome. Where are you from, DH? Tom Britt says, do I do any exotics as far as custom croc ostrich? We don't. We have, like, the closest thing to exotic that we do all the time is cordovan, which is, I don't think most people would consider that an exotic. I think when people say exotics, they're thinking more along the lines of like a gator or a croc, maybe even like an ostrich or something like that. We have done some stingray in the past. We've done some beaver tail in the past. You can look up a video here on YouTube of that. That was a weird one. So we actually have some like frog skins that a customer sent us. The answer is like, we don't really do that, but the goal of the channel here and the goal of our business is to share leather with people. So from time to time, if I come across a hide like that, it's fun for us to work with it and talk about it on camera here and then describe what it's all about. And the thing we've noticed about some of those exotics is they tend to be a much more delicate tannage alongside of a thinner hide. So I think it's probably not a material that is best suited for our workshop. We do leather goods, but we don't do much. We try to keep the leather as natural as possible. So in terms of like thinning it down or skiving edges or gluing things to it, like laminating things to a more delicate like frog skin, we don't laminate anything to that to make it stronger, because we are interested more about keeping the natural character of the leather. I've noticed that by doing less, the leather not only ages better, but it doesn't rip as much, and there's nothing like to break. So the cleaner and like simpler we make the stuff, I think the better. And that's sort of been our ethos for all the products. You'll notice like there's no bells and whistles. It's very much about like letting the leather be the star. And again, for some of those exotics, like we've tried them before, so they're super expensive, and it's not necessarily like what we're experts at. So I'm not against it. It's just I don't know if it's us, to be honest. Joseph says, good morning. It's birthday time for Dad today. Oh my God. Happy birthday, Joseph. And you got Father's Day coming up too. Maybe you get two. Don't buy two wallets. Good to see you though, Joseph. Happy birthday. And Noel says, considering I have a thin 3-pocket bifold, 2 pockets inside and 1 outside, which thin leather do you recommend for longevity and patina? 40-year aged gray latigo, etc. Which is ideal? I like, honestly, for me, I like veg. And there's only 2 veg options that we have. It's the cordovan and the Dublin. Now, I say 2, but we also have some 1940s calf that's very, very thin. And I'm looking at some right now. It's beautiful. It's down there. We actually just bought the last of, it's my understanding, it's the last of the 1940s calf. We just bought the last of it from Horween. So that leather is going away, and it's going away soon. That might be the move. It's very thin. It's veg. Super nice. So that might be a good choice for you, Noel. It's a premium price, which is why I hesitate. I don't want people to feel like I'm selling them stuff, but that is actually a good option for what you're describing. If you weren't to consider that, I really like natural shell, especially raw natural. I think just ages a little bit more dramatically. And then if you wanted to keep the price point a little bit lower, I like the Cypress. I like the Dublin. I would say lighter colors will give you a more dramatic patina, just generally speaking. So like a raw natural. But this 1940s calf might be the move from what you're describing. I don't know if the 1940s calf would work well on the outside of a wallet. It's a thinner leather, and it's old. So it's almost, It's like 80 years old. And we do have a mild concern that if people go really hard on that, like we normally suggest going hard on most of the leathers that we choose to make wallets out of, we're slightly worried that it might rip. We would take care of you if it ripped, but that's something we would probably ask you, like, hey, don't go super hard on this one because it's old and thin and very light in color. It's nice. I thought you thought I was going to say Croc. Crocs the shoes. I actually just bought my daughter Crocs the shoes and she loves them. So I've got nothing bad to say about Croc shoes. All right, hey, man, everybody that's picked up stuff, we got a lot of work for us to do here in the shop today, finishing up all the things that have been ordered. Stick around to the newsletter in particular this week. It should be on Friday. We're going to try to do a little event for Father's Day. Still have to figure out how to do that. So I'm hesitant to even announce it, but we do want to do something for the dads out there, including myself. Probably have some extra coffee, special coffee that morning. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you later. Hopefully, maybe Thursday or Friday. All right. Take care.